Hi everyone, and welcome to your weekly woo. We have a packed week as far as cosmic weather is concerned, so let's jump right into this. We pulled St. John's wort, a possum, and a little bonus this week. This is the crystal card, gold. The key word for this being solar angel. And what's so interesting is St. John's wort is a plant very associated with the sun. And actually, it blooms around the summer solstice, which for us is this Saturday and Sunday, depending on where you are on the planet. So the summer solstice is a time where we are called to look at the balance between our masculine and feminine energies, the yin and the yang within us. This has nothing to do with how you gender identify. This is the inner workings of the human psyche. So what's interesting about St. John's wort is it is used to combat and dispel depression, but in the Middle Ages, it was actually used to fight demons and dark magic. So already what we have is this energy coming through that dispels darkness, that dispels apathy, right? That gets us up on our feet, that there is a clarity coming through, a light, where we can look at our shadows and say, aha, this isn't working. Now, St. John's wort is, when something is connected to solar energy, we reference it as being masculine energy. But when we make tinctures out of St. John's wort, the tincture is a blood red, which this harkens back to the female menstrual cycle, which also harkens back to the lunar cycle. So there's something quite magical about St. John's wort, and that it is this combination of masculine and feminine energy. So I want to speak a bit about why we need both of these energies and why we need to have relationships with both of these energies inside of us. The masculine energy is what gives us that assertion to take action, and then it gives us the impetus to create structure, and then the discipline to carry that structure out. The feminine energy within us, the yin energy, is the creative flow. It's the intuitive understandings. It's dreaming the visions of what we want. It's the receiver. So yang is the outward aggressor. Yin is the receiving, more quiet part of ourselves. Now, they need to be balanced. And on the summer solstice, that's exactly what occurs. It is a balancing of the masculine and feminine polarities on the planet. Now, when the summer solstice occurs, naturally, the magnetic field of the earth is weakened. For that moment, we have a portal of energy that can come into the planet that would normally the magnetosphere would push out or dispel. Well, we get those cosmic weather tides, so to speak, or cosmic winds, those photons coming in from deep space and all those celestial bodies. We really can absorb during this time, during the summer solstice. And we already know that the magnetosphere of the planet in general has been weakened. So this amplifies the effect of all of our solstices, winter and summer solstice. They're just more and more potent as the years go on, as the magnetosphere weakens. Now, a possum. So here we have this energy of the lunar eclipse that's coming in after the solar eclipse that's coming in after the solstice, and it's a new moon energy that has certain aspects to Saturn that is really going to make us think, okay, I got to take this action. These are the action steps I'm going to need to take. This is the discipline I'm going to need, and maybe I'm not quite ready to take those steps. There's this energy of clarity, and then this understanding of, okay, wait a second. I really need to think about, how am I going to structure this change? How am I going to structure it so that I am disciplined enough to follow the steps? Because we don't want to create something that we're not going to be able to follow through on. And that's a bit of the conflict that could come up with this eclipse. Now, a possum, this is so interesting to me because we have Mercury going retrograde this week. And it's going retrograde on the star Sirius, which if you've done any sort of woo-woo investigations about how the Earth was seeded, you would know Sirius is a planet that is much involved in folklore and indigenous cultures as to where we came from and why. It is a very auspicious star, and it harkens to more of this download coming through of new ideas, new vision, new ways to structure the change that we want to see. But opossum energy, its key word is diversion. So there's this energy of, oh, I want to make these changes, and yet this Mercury retrograde is going to come in and it's going to say, but pause. Pause. There is a level of new information and new energy that's going to be coming through this week that you need to take those steps in the future. So a possum, what's amazing about it is it has teeth and claws and it can bite the holy hell out of you, but that's not its initial way when it's threatened. It actually turns over and plays dead, much like spiders. So there's an element to playing dead this week. Now, hope that's not literal for any of you, but if we do look at it symbolically, that maybe it's a week to turn off the phone. Maybe it's a week to get off social media, stop watching the news. You know, there is a lot of Mars activity this week as well, which harkens to frustration, anger rising. Anger's great as long as we don't let it spurn us into burning other people and ourselves. So we love the fire that anger brings because it focuses on what is the next best step, what action do I need to take. This week, a great diversion may be turn off the phone and go take a run. You know, this week, sweating and activity every single day, even if it's just stretching, to work the energy through the body because it is a lot of energy. Mercury being on Sirius, meaning like what you read, what you hear is going to be like aha moments and oh my God, inspiration. And you're going to need to take some time to incorporate the new information into how you want to move forward with these disciplined action steps. Now, not only is Mercury retrograde, we still have Venus retrograde. And this goes back to this idea of the will, right? Gold connecting to the solar plexus chakra, that is our internal sun, that's our parallel to the sun, and also the St. John's wort talking about our will and how we are reevaluating what we want to align our will with. When Venus is retrograde, it's all about, you know, what does money mean to me? What do I value? What am I willing to pay for? Energetically, what am I willing to put up with? What am I willing to give? Romantically, really thinking about what is the give and take. But all of this comes back to this solstice energy of the masculine and feminine within us. Now, we have a lot of planets in retrograde. A lot of them are in the sign of Capricorn, which is the sign of like the paternal figure, father, the patriarchy. And then this lunar eclipse, the solar eclipse that we have this weekend with the summer solstice is in the sign of Cancer, 0 degrees of Cancer, which is the sign of the Great Mother. It's like the most feminine energy we can imagine. So this weekend, we're building up to this realization that to really manifest what we want to see in our lives, we have got to be our own father. We have got to parent ourselves and be our own mother and father. Be that good father who gives you the structure, who encourages the discipline, and be that wonderful mother who says, yes, you can. You can manifest this vision. The mother who teaches you how to go still and silent so that you can hear your highest self. So this week, take some time, right? Play dead to the world. Get off the hamster wheel. Turn the phone off and luxuriate in these downloads and new photons coming through. Allow them to change how you view your life and what you want. So these structures that we're going to create, these new structures to create this new earth that we're building, they're not going to look like the old structures. And we need the inspiration. This week is heavy in inspiration. What you read, what you hear, what you see, what people say to you, all of it can have meaning if you allow it to. And all working to purify your will. You know, we've heard like align with God's will. What is the will of your highest self? This week is calling on you to ask that question. How are you going to use your ability to take action to create what you really want in your life? So it goes back to, what do you want? We always focus as humans on what we don't want. And St. John's wort is saying, like, use the light to dispel the darkness. Do not focus on what you don't want. Focus on what you do want and take action steps or begin to plan. How will that look? And you want to create it in a way that you can adhere to those steps. Too big a step, we're not going to follow through, right? You start a workout routine and you go hard and heavy that first day, you're going to wake up the next day and be like, I can't do this. Don't set yourself up to fail. Focus on what you want and create steps that you're going to be able to uphold. And opossum says, you know, it's a nocturnal creature. And it's also a very maternal creature if you've ever seen a possum with its children. So there's this element of allowing intuition and that divine feminine energy to come in and give yourself pause. Divert yourself from the negativity. Play dead to the negativity. Divert yourself from the negative voices. And the voice that says, no, you can't do this. No, you're not going to be able to keep up with these discipline steps. When that happens, use this energy of Mars that's going to be coming through and go outside, get in the sun, and work it out of your body. Because the truth is, if you're born on this planet right now, you're here to create the new earth. And there's many different words for that. But if you're here and you have a heart, that's what your job is. And the way that we do that as a collective is for each and every one of us as an individual to be incredibly clear on what we want, what we value, and how we're going to go after those things with integrity. So this week, it's a bit of a conflicting energy. It is, because that Mercury retrograde coming in is going to put a halt on things, and it's going to say, okay, review, review, review. How do you feel? What do you want? What are you going to do to change it? What are you going to focus on? And to really be that good mother. You know, when a child is freaking out, a mother doesn't freak out as well because she's on a higher level of consciousness than her child, so that she can help that child through that mental and emotional outburst. We are going to have to be our own mothers to help ourselves this week through the difficult emotions. And then we are going to have to be our own fathers as these downloads of new information and insight and inspiration come through. We're going to have to put it down to paper. Okay, what are the action steps going to be? And how will I reward myself when I meet the action steps that I'm creating? So, still in the middle of this eclipse portal, because after the one on the 21st, the solar eclipse on the 21st, 2 weeks later, we have another full moon eclipse on July 5th. So this is a week to take pause and really listen to what's coming in and what's coming up. And that's what the polarity is going to be. So much information coming in. So you want to make sure it's not an overdue on social media and your phone. So the energy is coming in, and then the energy is coming up. And how to dance with this, letting go of the negativity so that there's room for these new higher vibrational energies coming through. So thank you so much for viewing, everyone. See if you can see some St. John's wort out in nature this week, as it should be yellow blooms, because it is the summer solstice time. And remember, your desire for what you truly value, the desire to be on purpose, intensifies the light quotient in every level and layer of your being, so that you actually become like a sun, dispelling the darkness. So this week we have an invitation to do just that, even if you have to divert the attention away from negativity and conflict and play dead to it. Because there's something bigger coming through. And remember, watch when we have this St. John's wort, it also, if you have too much of it, right? If you've ingested too much St. John's wort, it can make your skin very sensitive. So it's also a little reminder to take care of your skin when you're out in the sun, and definitely get out in the sun. Let it cleanse you and purify you. And that energy that it gives, that feeling when you've had a day in the sun, there is a level of relaxation happens, because there is a sense of the burning off of the sluggish apathy. So allow the sun to do its work this week, and get to know this internal mother and this internal father. And if you need help doing that, please reach out to me. I do sessions doing exactly that, helping people connect to these deeper parts of themselves. Because once you make those inner parts have harmony with each other, you see it reflected in the outside world. And not all of us were raised with parents who loved each other. And not all of us have, good feelings about what is masculine or what is feminine. And there's a lot of work that needs to be done there in the collective and for us individually. So if you need help, please reach out. Now, if you've been watching these, that there is an extended weekly woo, and that's for my patrons on Patreon. And if you would like to become one, please jump over there, patreon.com/thegoodwoo. Tiers start at $5.55. So thank you all so much for viewing. I wish you a beautiful week. Enjoy the summer solstice, and prepare for these insights to come through that will feed the vision for the life you truly want to be leading. Thank you so much.